show. Always Irish show. Always Irish show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. In a call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. Despite the 6 combined losses that will be meeting in Death Valley Saturday, there is a lot on the line. More than people want to recognize if you look at the big picture. There's a lot on the damn line in this game. And I think because Clemson has 4 losses and there's all this other BS going on around the country, all this sensational drama, I don't think this game's getting the attention it deserves. Maybe even from me, but from other people, it's given me a little anxiety. And what doesn't, by the way? What does it give John a little anxiety? You don't get this skeleton frame I'm working with out of nothing. Constant Notre Dame anxiety keeps me skinny. There's a lot on the line here. Here's where this is going. This is one of those games where all the Notre Dame fans aren't making a big deal about, don't talk about none of that stuff, and then we lose it, and then they're all making a big deal about it or something. Like, you got to make it a big deal before it happens if you're going to be the first one to call in you're mad if it goes bad when it happens. There's a lot on the line. This is a big moment for Notre Dame in a lot of ways. Practically, but I could argue more even symbolically. I want to know what you guys think. Give me a call, dial it up. Let me know what you think. 312-900-8815. I want to know what you think of this Notre Dame-Clemson game. What are going to be the determining outcomes, the biggest matchups that Notre Dame needs to take advantage of? Also, if you have any thought, I'm not making this a Michigan thing. I'm trying to do a good job of getting out my Michigan stuff in these videos and then not letting it drown out the Notre Dame talk on these call-in shows. It's important to me. Dr. John, good to see you, brother. It's important for me to get out the Michigan stuff I need, but I don't want it to bleed in and overtake the Notre Dame side of that. So I got one up yesterday. If you want to hit on that briefly, we can. John, you need to eat more. You're a growing boy. I'm not growing. Don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself. So I already see a bunch of phone calls. We have a couple super chats. Let me get through this. Oh, one more announcement. Who in the hell needs college football game day and all? Me and Goolsby are going live before the game. It's at 11 o'clock start my time. We're going to go early. You don't need game day. Come here. Me and Goolsby, we're going to have breakfast beers. We're going to do the kegs and eggs. And we're going to go live before the game. So please don't waste your time with game day. Come here. I'll put out the link. And that's what we're going to do. Instead of a night call-in show, we're going to do a live pregame show. That's a decision I've made and Goolsby and I agree on. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, we're not going to do the night show. I don't want to saturate it. But since Goolsby's available and wants to do a pregame show, we're going to do that. So you guys don't need game day. Tune into me and him. We're going early, right into the game. It's called breakfast beers, kegs, and eggs. That's what we're doing. We're going to wake you up in the morning. We're going to wake you up in the morning tomorrow. Okay. So let's get through the introduction. I got a couple bullet points and I'll give it to the callers. As always, thanks for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on that way you alerted every time a new episode drops. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it to Cowlin Lines. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all Connor Stallions is heard and seen. Instagram, Facebook, read Always Irish Inc. USA. I can't spit it out. USA Today. Fighting Irish Wire. Read all about it. Spit it out, idiot. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. Are we sure John even eats eggs? I only eat scrambled eggs, and I don't like them. They got to be cooked good. I don't need no runny. I don't like none of that runny. I mean, I cook my scrambled eggs, and I like them things. But them runny ones, all of that, I don't understand none of that. No, I scramble them and cook them up good and put a little pepper there. That's the most seasoning you're ever going to get from me is a dab of pepper on some scrambled eggs. But we're not turning this into my diet against ketchup. Never in a million years would I put ketchup on eggs. That's for a hot dog. No, I ain't doing that. Are you out of your mind? You're going to ruin them all with a bunch of runny tomato juice? I'm going to ruin you think I'm going to beat my eggs and then I'm going to mess them up by dumping liquidy tomato juice in it? That ain't happening, bro. Salsa, that's a good one. I will do salsa, but I will take the chip and only get like the juice. I don't do chunks. We're not doing it. It's a texture thing. It's like barf. It's my argument against guacamole. It's like barf texture, and I ain't doing that. So I'm not eating all these raw chunks of all this weird shit. I dip it in there to get a little heat on the chip in the juice, but I'm not a chunks guy. It reminds me of barf. I'm not doing it. It's the chunks that come out. No, I'm a big texture guy. Can't do it. And everybody quit saying I'm a weird eater. I'm a skeleton for a reason. Give me a break. Hot sauce on everything. I don't have an extra pair of undies with me. What do you mean hot sauce on everything? No chance. Are you out of your mind? What are you going to do to me? Hot sauce on everything. Are you kidding me? I need extra drawers if we're going to play that game. All right. We're not letting this turn into this. If we want in the off season, we'll do a stream where you just give me food and then I tell you what I don't like about it. But we're not doing that now. We got football to talk about. I'm dead serious in the off season. We'll do a food stream. Just throw a food at me and I'll tell you my problem with it. Crawfish, grits. I don't even know what that means, bro. Like, no. Grits. I don't know what that is, other than I've heard of it in old school movies. Pepto, I eat a lot of that. Crawfish. The last time, is that like a crawdad? The last time I was around crawfish, I use them for bait. Flip up a rock by the river, hook a crawfish up, throw it in and catch a bass. That's it. You think I'm eating them pinchers? No, you out of your mind. You guys are wild with this shit. No, I ain't eating nothing with pinchers. Like, how can anything with pinchers look appealing to you? I don't get that. I can't be like, oh, this thing has pinchers and it's all aggressive. And you know what I'm going to do? That looks like something good to eat. Come on. Oh, Dr. John. At this point, John, you should start a food show. Dude, I will just give me a food and I'll give you the reason I don't like it. Just like here's what I'm going to tell you guys. Just like my football takes, nothing I say is random. You may disagree with the philosophy behind it, but every take I have has a reason. You might disagree with it, but in my food takes, every one of them has logic behind it that I can explain to you. There's nothing random. I will never say I don't like this because I don't like it. There's a philosophy behind everything. I can eat peanut butter and jelly. Even I could do that. Make my 3-year-old one and then I have one. All right, let's do some super chats. See what the callers think. $5 holler from Pat. Questions for Saturday. Who's replacing Evans' production? Will NDZO be able to stretch the D by taking and hitting shots? O-line play against Clemson 2022. All right. The Evans question is a real one because he was your Michael Mayer from last year. That's kind of what this turned into on 3rd down and 8 or whatever. You're getting Evans over the middle. That's the issue. It isn't just that he was the leading overall receiver. It's that he's the go-to guy in all of those big moments. All of those big moments, that was the guy. Are you going to replace that production with Holden Stays, Raridan coming off injury with his big body frame and athleticism that we just haven't seen be able to show yet? Or is this an opportunity to have one less tight end out there and then have more shots to Tyree or do something with Faison or have a different another back out there to make up that number? I don't know what they're going to do, but you would be foolish to think this is no big deal when it's your leading guy and your outlet on every big critical drive. So somebody needs to step up. And that is the most interesting matchup of this game to me is Clemson's defense against Notre Dame's offense. That is the most interesting matchup to me. And I need Notre Dame to handle it the right way. I need them to handle it the right way. $2 holler from Steven Arado. Stomp Clemson. That's the idea. That's the idea. 702. Dr. John, thank you very much. $10 holler from Mike in November. No shave November. Indy wins Saturday. An artery clogging, stroke inducing tweaker. Irish 30 Tyler from Spartanburg. Dude, it shouldn't be. I don't want it to be stroke inducing against these guys. I really don't want it to come down to that with their 4 losses. I understand they're capable of making you play that game. Listen, I know they're not going to just lay down. I know that. Like, they're not going to lay down for Dabo in their place. That's not going to happen, even with 4 losses. They're not going to just lay down and play dead like that. I'm fine with that. I need them to have that last gasp of breath. This is the last thing we're playing for. We're playing for pride. We're playing for all that. I expect them to have that. And then Notre Dame to stomp it out. I expect them to have that vibe. And then you need to stomp it out. And go, I understand this is your last gasp at anything this year, whatever, but we just can't allow it. That's what I need this to be. Brussels sprouts, dude, cauliflower, you ain't even getting into stuff I can have opinion of. It's so far off my grid. What do I look like? Peter freaking Rabbit over here looking for dinner in a garden? No. Cauliflower, no, we're not doing that. We're not. You're off the grid, bro. If you're getting into anything that I got to be a rabbit to eat, you're off my grid. Asparagus, spare me even bringing that up, Phil. I love you, but spare me even that thought. I ain't doing that. No, lettuce is crunchy water. I don't understand any of that stuff. I don't get it. What's my favorite food? Probably bread. I like bread a lot. Fills me up, tastes good. There's different kinds of it. I like bread. Here's the thing. We need John to get blood work, see what he's deficient in. A lot of things. Brain cells, number one. All right, let me go over something real quick, and I'm bringing you right to the calls. I got to get through a couple bullet points. I'll make it quick, and I got a bank of people waiting. Here's the deal. The more I think about this game, the more I convince myself there's a lot on the line. Number one for Notre Dame, you got to go 10-2. You got to go 10-2. Of course, I love pizza, but it's got to be from Earth. It's got to be from Earth. I'm not dumping a garden on top of it or 90 pounds of meat. Okay? Just be normal. Cheese pizza. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay? I'll even do sausage or pepperoni. But I ain't having all of it on there once. Then it's no longer pizza. It's a soup on bread. Don't get me started on red sauce on pizzas. They ruin the whole pizza by dumping a jar of red sauce on it, and it overdoes the whole taste of the bread and the cheese because it's all red. I don't like that either. 10-2 needs to be. Nobody in this fan base is going to say that this is acceptable year or progress at all if you go 9-3. It can't be, you guys. And then that also means you lost to two of the big three again. I can't handle that. There's nobody I know that would look at this year as a success if you go 9-3 and lose this game. Like, we're at the end of the line, you guys. We're getting to the end of the season. The only way you could we're going to look at this as any form of success at all this year is if you run the table since the first weekend of October and win all this. You got to go 10-2. So that's number one. Number two, you're flipping that big game record from 1-2 to 2-1. That's a big marker of progress for a lot of people. We all went into last year saying, here is this 6 big game sample. 3 last year, 3 this year against the same 3. You got to flip that record to be a successful year, bro. And I understand you came up a few inches short and it could have been different against Ohio State, but you didn't get over the hump. So I need you to flip that record from 1-2 to 2-1. I need that. I don't want that. I needs that. Number 3, Notre Dame helped jumpstart Clemson's fall. It would be really, really nice to catch them on the back end when they're beat up and bleeding out and add an extra kick to their program head. What, 7-7, their last batch of games? And Notre Dame's in here messing them up. Everybody else messing them up. Like there's some symbolism here in the way that you could almost see how Notre Dame jump-started this decline, and then I wanted to come back full circle and kind of finish it off. John eats Tostinos, frozen pizzas. I think I have had those before. They're not bad. I'll eat a Hot Pocket, a ham and cheese Hot Pocket. That's fancy for me. I'll eat one of them. So I need Notre Dame to finish what they started here. And then the fourth thing is maintain momentum. Notre Dame hasn't lost since what? The first weekend of October? Ride this baby out. You got 2 very winnable games on the back end here. Ride this thing out. No losses since the first week of October. That's a vibe then. And you're just winning. All right? So, there's a food take people agree with. Those ham and cheese Hot Pockets are good. You just got to be careful you don't burn the shit out of your hand and your mouth. But they are good. So maintaining that momentum that you haven't lost since then. And so I just think that's important. This is not going to be a successful year in any fashion if you lose this ball game. That's what it's down to. And the interesting thing is we would have said that even if Clemson had 2 losses or 1 loss. Like that isn't changing just because of their record. That would be the case even if they were good. We'd say you got to win this game. Keep feeding Tyree. He deserves more. Andrew, 100%. 100%. Give that guy 2 to 3 more targets a half. A half. Like, when you have dudes making plays, feed the dudes making. When you have dudes making plays, you feed the guys making plays. And now you're down your leading receiver, who's a tight end, which should be upsetting. Frog legs. Good one. I don't know about that. I think I tried gator bites in Florida as an appetizer when I moved down there with my brother one. And I was even able to do that because it was fried and all that. It was just like, it tasted like fried chicken bites. I tried one of those. It wasn't my meal, but I'll nibble on one just to try it. Yeah, phase on your pays on. Let the man get out there and get open and get loose. I don't know. Scallops. You guys are talking, what is that? One of them things you scrape a barnacle off the bottom of a boat and then they put it on your plate. No, thanks. So maintaining momentum and not having any more losses is the key. Most importantly to me, then the phone calls. Follow me here. Most important to me in some ways is program perception. And I know Clemson's down a lot, and you're not going to get a ton of credit for this win. But if you beat them this year and you had what you did to them last year, it kind of feels Like what you're doing is running right up the ladder and kicking them down and letting them know your time is over. We are the program on the rise, and we're passing you up, leaving you in our wake. We're leaving you in our dust. We're going up, you're going down, and we're going to help you go down. Swordfish. Yeah. What part of swordfish do you want? I want the sword done medium well with extra sharp razor teeth. Are you out of your mind? Give me a break. Swordfish. What am I going to do? Cut the sword part off and keep it as a souvenir after my dinner? I don't like eating all these things that could kill you. You know what I mean? And so that perception to me is important. I want this to feel like it is a funeral at the end of the game for Clemson's elite program status. Bro, that's what I need. I want this to feel like a literal funeral procession for their eliteness. That's what I want it to be. Okay? They're not going to lay down. Pride is all they have and all this stuff. They're mad at their situation. Dabo's mad at everybody, blah, 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 blah. Fine. Be ready and overcome it. I'm expecting them to come out fired up. It's all they have left to play for. You need to be ready for that. Account for it. Smash it down. Overcome it. It's a weird 4-4. There's a lot of talent. Find me a more talent-laden 4-4 team lately. There's a lot of talent. Leave me, John, and our plain cheeseburgers alone. It's the only cheeseburger I've ever got. Plain meat, bread, cheese. Anything else is uncivilized. It's uncivilized. You're being gluttonous. If you require anything else other than the basics on a cheeseburger, you're out of line. You're out of line. Meat, bread, and cheese. That's a cheeseburger. Not 90 pounds of things soggy in your bun and then things you grabbed out of a garden and decided to throw on there. That ain't it. It ain't it. Their defense against our offense is the matchup of the game. Sam Hartman, you might have to throw the ball. You're going to have to throw the ball. You're going to have to make these plays. You're going to have to make some plays, Sam. They're going to sell out, stop the run. He's going to have to throw it around a little bit. A little bit. Okay? Goolsby, my Patreon partner, he wants Sam to own this game. He's been saying this needs to be a Sam game. He's going to have to do some things with his arm. They're going to try and stop the run. He's going to have to throw the ball around a little bit. Going to have to throw it around a little bit. On defense, I expect Notre Dame to eat. Their O-line isn't good. It may be down 2 starters that already aren't playing good enough. Shipley's likely out. Klubnik's in his own brain, young and struggling. This defense got to eat. This defense got to eat. More than I do. They got to eat. Pressure this kid. You pressure this kid, he'll throw you the ball a few times. Get after it. The defense for Notre Dame's playing light out. Lights out. John, how many folds of toilet paper is perfect to wipe? Whatever is, you just hope for a clean sweep. Some days you just hope for a clean swipe. Like, can a brother get a break? Can I just be like a 1 or 2 hitter quitter? Give me a clean swipe. You know what I'm saying? It's rough. Just give me, you know what, we're not going there, but you know what I mean, man. Some days you just need a break. And it's just like, just give me a clean one. This is going off the rails. I don't know what's happening to this show, bro. I just we're getting to the end of the year, and I feel like everybody's losing their minds. Dude wipes. Yeah. A lot of guys at the golf course have the dude wipes, and they use them. They're multi-purpose. Oh, my God. Our defense, anyway, I expect them to eat. They are playing so good and with so much confidence that I expect them to pressure Klubnik and just get after him. And I would say that's probably Notre Dame's quickest path to winning this game. It isn't relying on our offense against their defense. It's getting our defense to put their offense in bad situations with short fields and mistakes and behind the line of scrimmage plays for losses, havoc, all that. Klubnik will give you the ball if you pressure him. Dial it up. Get in this kid's face. Notre Dame should win this game. If they mess around at all, it's going to be a dogfight all night. If you're making mistakes offensively, you're going 3 and out, you're going to have, it's going to be a dogfight. So it's up to Notre Dame how this goes. I fully expect them to show up, energized, ready to go. It's all they have left to play for. I need Notre Dame to overcome that. Except they're going to come out fighting for their lives and then beat the hell out of their asses anyways. Why is this equation so hard to figure out? They're going to try and find a reason to get going and get that crowd going. You don't allow it. Death Valley, I want it deadly silent. Make plays early, and it kills any of that vibe of like, we could do this, and even though we have 4 losses, this is going to be the high end. No. Shut it down. Phil, we're going to the phones now. Phil, I love Portillo's Italian beef. I enjoy that as well. I'll eat an Italian beef, the bread, the meat, and I'll even drop a couple things of cheese on the top of an Italian beef. But you know what I ain't doing? I'm not doing that thing where they take my perfectly good sandwich and bread and then dunk it under all that brown juice, the au juice, or au jus, whatever. I'm not doing that. I don't like my buns soggy. We already covered that. What is the point of bread if you're going to make it all mushy? It's no longer bread. It's disgusting. So I like me an Italian, but I ain't getting it dip. Oh, John, that means you're not a Chicago guy. Whatever. Sue me. I get ketchup only on a hot dog too. Or do I have to move out of the state of Illinois? Everybody needs to leave me alone. But I don't like soggy buns, bro. That's my problem with condiments, too, on a burger. I don't like my bread soggy. No soggy buns for John. So I don't do that mushy bread. It's all mushy. Like something's wrong with it. Can't do it. 404-618-260-859. You're going to be the first group up. 404, what's going on?
John, good morning.
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited about this opportunity that awaits Notre Dame and Death Valley. There's some symbolism here. There's a chance for them to really feel like they're moving up in the world and can push Clemson down on the way. And I'm here for it. What do you think?
I am overly excited because I'm going to the game.
Man, you know, I would
First game I've been to.
Oh.
I've been to in person since the Georgia Tech COVID game at Georgia Tech. I live about 100 miles from Clemson.
Man, I would love you got to touch base with me after the game because I would love to hear what the vibe is like in there. We'll be able to tell some of it from TV, but I would love to know for a noon game when you have 4 losses and everything's not going well in Death Valley. I am really interested to know what that crowd vibe's like. I feel like they're going to be kind of on edge, waiting for a reason to get loud, and I just hope we don't give it to them.
Yeah, this game's got me a lot worried than most of the other Irish fans.
It's a dangerous 4-4, brother. It's a dangerous 4-4. They are. They have way more talent than that record. It's dangerous.
Well, I think really it's going to come down to our receivers. I know a lot of people saying Hartman's going to have this game, but first off, Mitchell's out. He's got, maybe over 150 more snaps than any of the other receivers. So that includes his blocking, too.
Yeah. Yep. No, you're right.
With that.
Hey, you know what? Really good point, though. The run game is affected by that as well. So very good point by you, sir.
And, Greathouse and Flores, they've been freaking awesome. I mean, there's no doubt about it, but they're freshmen. I mean, for instance, that pick, I rewatched the game last night against Pitt, and that pick that Hartman threw over the middle, that was all on Greathouse. When he threw that ball that defender was on Greathouse's opposite hip. I'm sorry, Flores. He was on Flores' opposite hip, and Flores didn't break off the route where the middle was wide open. It was almost as if Hartman was throwing him open. He kept running straight, and the deep back was able to undercut him and make the interception.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to knock him. That's not what I'm getting at. But just for reference, I had read something this week that the only freshman since I think 2010 that's caught over 10 balls have been like Lorenzo Stiles and Kevin Stefferson, and I think the other one was TJ Jones, and you got two of them this year catching.
Yeah, and you know what the balance is there? The balance is I would love more guys in this younger age bracket to be more involved, but not by necessity, but because they earn it. Does that make sense? And maybe this year's a little bit of both. Maybe this year's a little bit of both because you didn't have the numbers. Like, I want to be in a position next year to go, Cam Williams is our number one dude as a true freshman. But because these guys are earning those snaps, not because we need them to fill bodies, because we have no depth, because we messed up for a bunch of years in a row in recruiting and developing wide receivers. That is an issue Notre Dame's still trying to dig out of. They're still trying to dig out of it.
And we tried to be high on these receivers at the beginning of the year, but I have yet to see, and correct me if I'm wrong, I've yet to see us win a 50-50 battle. I've yet to see a back shoulder throw that Hartman's made. He made a living off of that at Wake.
Yeah.
And is it because we can't win 50-50 battles?
Yeah, that's tough. And I've heard people reference that as well, even with some of the interceptions, saying our guys need to do more to battle, come back through the ball, adapt, adjust, be more physical at the point of attack to make sure on some of those things. It's all not an ideal situation this year. And the numbers just were what they were. You knew you were going to have younger guys play, and then you have injuries, and it's just a rough dynamic. Hopefully Notre Dame's able to work out of that with some more quality depth coming in. I'm telling you, Cam Williams is going to play right away, probably be the best guy next year, day one. Book that. That.
I hope so. But and also the anxiety of the fact of, I know Clemson's got a lot of turnovers, but do they have a lot of turnovers on Saturday? You know, it's one of those things that if you're facing a team that runs the ball, you know, averages 125 yards a game, okay, well, that's something a little bit easier to defend than basically relying on them turning the ball.
Dude,
where I'm really the week they get it fixed.
I am really, really, really glad you brought this up. Okay, because here's where I'm really glad you did. Here's where I'm struggling in my brain. I'm struggling going, look at what they do, man. They just keep turning the ball over. Get down in the red zone, turn it over. Bad pick six, fumble going in the end zone, going the other way. They've had that happen all year. That's happened in every one of their games, basically. I'm saying, can I rely on that, though? Like I can't rely on them to fumble it at the one the way they have in every other game. That makes me a little nervous because they're moving the ball and making these catastrophic mistakes in the red zone. And it's like, can I rely? I'm going to get that this week. I don't know that I can, but it's happened almost every week. So I don't know.
Well, it's interesting that if you look at the statistics, both offensively and defensively, of course, we played Ohio State, but they played Florida State. They are almost identical except for offensive fumbles and offensive turnovers.
Yeah.
So I think that this defense we're going to play is going to be definitely the best defense other than Ohio State and could be right up there with Ohio State. So if they get conservative and just want to play field position, who knows? I mean, I'm extremely worried about this game, and I know a lot of people think, oh, we're going to blow them out, but I just don't know if they've really looked into Clemson as much as they've seen scores and how they get beaten, whatever, double overtime and dumb plays that they make at the end. And hopefully it never gets to the end and they make those dumb plays before half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How much of this to you, I mean, I'm expecting the offense to maybe have some challenges moving the ball against this defense. I really need Notre Dame's defense to be the leading group tomorrow. I do. I need them to be physical, get after this young quarterback. I need them to show up, man, and they're playing good ball. This could be another game where we're relying on them to kind of get some momentum going.
As long as they stay focused, because we don't have a good track record of playing on the road. I mean, let's be honest, it's gotten worse every road game we've played.
Yeah, that's a really good
point. That concerns me now. Hopefully we won't be doing musical chairs on the offensive line.
Yeah,
again,
and that's,
which I think
that's the other good thing. Man, you're right where I'm at in my mind. The other thing I was going to say is the O-line specifically has struggled mightily on the road. There has been a clear split that indicates how much more comfortable, for whatever reason, they are at home than the road. That is a real thing.
So hopefully, I'm with you. The defense, I feel comfortable with the defense. Without Mitchell Evans, I'm not feeling good with the offense. Hopefully they give Tyree more snaps. Tyree affects the game more as a decoy than a lot of people do just to take up snaps. I don't get that. I mean, you see some of those plays against Pitt, and they put him in motion, and those linebackers are looking at him thinking it's a jet sweep, and Estime goes right by him.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, here's how I look at it. It's really, really simple. Guys who make plays deserve the chance to make more big plays. All that guy does is make plays. Give him 2 to 3 more literal touches a half, and then keep him out there to make people worry about it the other time. He's making plays. Give him the ball more. Feed him. It ain't rocket brain surgery. Give him the ball more.
I'm with you. I'm going to let you go because I know you got a lot of other people waiting, but I did hear, for those that may be able to be going to the game, and I heard Pigskin mention this yesterday on your show or when you were interviewing him, that it is tough getting out of that place after the games.
Man, is it really that bad? Like, is it exaggerated or is it really that bad? I don't do no traffic, man. That ain't for me. I've left every concert I've ever been to during the encore to be the first one out, and I have no shame about that. I do not sit in a parking lot for hours. What's the deal? Why don't they create another road out or something? What the hell's going on down there?
From my understanding, talking to someone that has Clemson season tickets, there's only one road out of that place after the game. And it's basically a state highway. So, I don't know if it's 2-lane or if it's only 4 lanes.
Oh, come on.
Of course, they block the traffic.
Get with it.
But that's what I have heard. And I've heard just be patient getting out. And I think listening to your podcast yesterday with Pete, he had it right to tailgating after the game.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Before, but heck,
that's a good idea.
I want to get home before the LSU Alabama game.
Yeah. And hey, look at it this way. Maybe Notre Dame will be up by enough. You don't have to stay till the end and you can beat the wave out of there. How about that for an ending? Look at that. Do it that way if we're up by enough.
That absolutely will not happen.
No,
with the limited opportunities I have to see them on field, John, they could even be getting beat by 50, and I'm going to watch every damn minute.
There you go. I respect that, actually. I do. I genuinely respect that. The other thing is those Clemson people have been pretty good to me. For as much as I hate everybody and can find a reason to, they're one group I've never really had problems with. And last year when I was in South Bend for the game, they were really pleasant all weekend out on Eddy Street and everything. They were nice to me, so I have no problems with them as a fan base, comparatively speaking. Should be fun, man. I hope you enjoy your time.
Appreciate it, John. Hey, great show, and look forward to you having a show tonight.
I think we're not going to do that because Goolsby and I are going to go live tomorrow for a pregame show, and I don't kind of want to overdo it. So I think we'll do the pregame show tomorrow instead of game day. Give people something to watch.
Sounds great, then. I'll try tuning in tomorrow as well.
There you go. Hey, man, thanks for representing us there. Wear your Notre Dame stuff. Be loud and be proud, brother.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Thanks for the call. I like that. Atlanta, the number there. I like that we're getting some people down there. Jaded says, I think Uber's the way to go. Book one at a time. You don't have to find a parking spot, right? It's just, dude, One of my pet peeves in life is nobody thinks about what are you going to do later. It just bothers me. People drive in somewhere for some concert or something. And the second we park, I'm looking at it going, how are we getting out of here? This looks like a cluster waiting to happen. You know how many concerts I've been to? I look at the parking deal and I go, this is going to be a problem on the way out of here. I don't like this. We need to plan for this. I'm the only guy that'll ruin a concert by making my exit plan the minute I get there, how I'm going to beat the crowd. Dude, the last thing I'm doing is waiting in a parking lot with a bunch of drunken people to leave a concert for 2 hours. That is my living nightmare. I'm never doing that. I ain't doing that. 859, and then I'm going 618. I got questions for 618. 859, you're on the line. Good morning. 859, and then I'm going 618. I got questions for 618. 859. Tim! Good morning. 859, and then I'm going 618. I got questions. I'm hearing myself. Tim! Jeez, it's bad enough listening to myself speak, and then I got to hear that too. It's like me speaking on speaking. Call me back if you want. 618. Good morning, man. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, John?
I'm doing good, buddy. Listen, man, this is a big game here. I don't think any Notre Dame fan's going to feel good about this year at all if you don't get this one. It's a must-have in a tricky spot against a 4-4 team I know that has more talent than the record. What's the reality here?
Right now, I can't really say, man, because like you say, Clemson has more talent than what their record really shows. But I just think, man, that the offensive line at Clemson is bad. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to pressure. We got to pressure Clemson all day long, man. And
hey, listen,
take it away from them, man.
Those guys were already a not good offensive line. I think their left guard is out and the left tackle may be out. And they were already bad kind of to begin with, not reliable. And you may have two guys on the left side of that line out for them. Plus, I believe Shipley's still dealing with the concussion. They got a wide receiver or two banged up. Like, they have some health issues. I need Notre Dame to take advantage.
Yes, man. We need them to take advantage, man. I mean, like I said, we got to pressure Clemson into, man. I mean,
he'll give you the ball, dude. He will give you the ball if you get in his face. And Notre Dame's been doing a good job of that. Dial it up, Al. Make this young guy's clock move fast. He'll give you the ball.
Yeah, and I was watching something yesterday, and they said how similar Notre Dame and Clemson is. The only difference is Clemson is giving the ball away.
Yeah.
And they pretty much said that, man, Clemson and Notre Dame was like neck and neck. You know, they was the same team except for Notre Dame don't turn the ball over and Clemson does.
Yeah. Notre Dame's going to have to play a good full game tomorrow. I have no illusions of Clemson laying down because they have 4 losses at Death Valley. They're not going to just roll over and go, here you go, Notre Dame. You are going to get their best shot, their last dying breath, last chance to salvage anything good out of this season. You're going to get all that anger directed at us. And I just need Notre Dame to overcome it. I need you to acknowledge that's real coming from them and then go, I don't give a shit. We're going to win anyways.
Yeah, man. I think, man, what Notre Dame needs to do is they need to jump out on Clemson. Man, something similar, not quite as similar to what the Pitt game was. But if you get out 21-0, 28-0 in the first half, man, they'll roll over in the second half. They'll just die.
Yeah, but the issue is you got to build that lead. I could see them dying then. And I think the way you do it is you got to do it with some of this defense. Get some short fields, get some havoc plays, get that ball on the ground, get that kid throwing it around a little bit. He's quick to throw you the ball, but you got to make it happen. I need Notre Dame to be all over this kid. Pressure, confusion, pressure, confusion. Al Golden's got to be licking his chops. Those guys are playing great, and they have another great opportunity in front of them.
And their front, well, their defensive line is really, really good, but man, the linebackers and the defensive backs is like terrible, man. So this is one of the games that maybe we could push it downfield on them, man.
Yeah, well, who's doing it? Tyree? Who's getting open? Is it going to be Tyree again, or are we going to get somebody else in the mix? Let's go, baby.
Tyree, maybe Merriweather come in and do a decent job. You know, we never know how Greyhouse feel, man. You know, maybe he played this week because him and Klubnik was teammates in high school. You know, maybe this the week that Hartman finally pushed it down the field. Remember what Hartman did to him last year, man, at Clemson.
Do you feel like I know Goolsby was saying this on some of our Patreon stuff. He kept saying, John, this is a game where Sam Hartman needs to go win the game for you. He goes, they are going to sell out, stop the run. You're without your number one target. I need Sam Hartman to step up and make some big throws with his arm, throw guys open, and will that offense down the field. This needs to be a Sam Hartman game where he needs to do some things. Let's go.
Yeah, this is the game, man. We really need Sam to step up, man, and have one of them big performances where you're throwing 4 or 5 touchdowns this week while the defense do what they do, man. This might be one of the, man, to believe it or not, man, Notre Dame might have a top 5 defense in the country, man. I mean, this defense is way better than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's. I'm telling you, man. It's this is just. It's a tricky dynamic for Notre Dame, man. I don't know what to make of it. Does this not feel like the ultimate trap? But at the same time, I have confidence in Notre Dame in some ways, but I'm aware that it could be a trap at the same time.
Yeah, I just don't want Notre Dame to go in there and play down to Clemson and we see one of them Duke type games where we got to pull it out at the end, man. Let's just go in there and knock them out, man. They're vulnerable. They got a lot of injuries. Man, Dabble don't know what to do.
Yeah,
sometimes
it's getting to him.
Sometimes it made me think, man, Dabble, the coach that we really thought he was. I mean, maybe it was the coordinators that was really good. I mean, man, and now that he don't have any coordinators, he went out and got the Riley guy, and he not even letting him even dial up the offense. He just basically said, hey, you're going to do what I say do.
Yeah. It's just, and the thing with that is though, man, if you get 2 championships, you got credibility from that, don't you? Even if you had 1, but if you have 2, I got to give him some credibility for that. 2's hard to do.
Man, your head coach, man, John, your head coach is only as good as the coaches that he surrounds himself with. And over these last couple of years, I mean, he lost Venables to Oklahoma.
Yeah. The
defense is still kind of rolling, but he lost some good offensive coordinators also, man. And that offense sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of rough. It's just kind of rough. And I don't know. And you know what else? They're not getting those wide receivers they used to have either. They don't have those kind of dudes outside. In Shipley, and I know they like Maffa, the running back. The other one is that tight end. Watch out for him tomorrow. Brennan Stool, is that his name? Whatever, was that his name? Their tight end is the guy that's going to be their outlet the way our guy is, and I'm already seeing in my mind somebody better guard that guy. He's really, really good. Finds a way to get open, finds soft spots in his zone. They're going to throw to him a lot tomorrow. Somebody over the middle, be aware of that. I'm just throwing that out there.
And I agree. I agree with that, man. They got a really good tight end, man. It's just that, man, we got to put pressure on Klubnik. Man, we put some pressure on him, man. He'll basically hand the ball to Notre Dame, man. and we got to take advantage, man. Once again, I can say, man, I have not seen the Notre Dame defense like this since probably the 90s.
They're
man.
flying around, man. They're flying around, and you
top
can
to bottom,
dude, you could see the confidence they're playing with. Like, I don't know how to describe that. Like, other than just the plays they're making, it looks like they're just playing with a lot of confidence. It just looks like a unit that's growing their momentum. I just love what I'm seeing. They're doing great, and I need it again this week. I need it.
man. We get this win tomorrow. We finish up 10-2, man. And hopefully we get into a New Year's Six bowl. Maybe we finish up 11-2. You know, and hey, man, I see a lot of people online talking about next year going into Aggie land, man. I don't see it, man. But once again, man, I think this game won't be close.
Dude, why are you trying to get me to worry about Aggie land already, man? I literally have like 11 months to worry about and stew over us going there to open next year. And you're dropping that in my brain. You know I'm going to worry about it now.
Yeah, we'll talk about that during the off season, man. I think that Notre Dame pull away, man. They pull away tomorrow, man. 38. I'm saying 38-14, man. I don't think, and possibility, man. Clemson might not even score 14 points, man.
Ooh, I like that. Little defensive supremacy from the Irish. I like that, man. I really do.
And they put us on our toes in the first half where we be like, man, I hate Notre Dame. Like we always do, and then the second half they pull away.
Yep. Oh man,
get a few turnovers in the second half and turn them into touchdowns.
I would love that. Eventually wear them down with the run game a little bit. I could see that path, but I think Notre Dame's defense has set the tone for the day and let Clemson know you're not getting nothing and you're not getting nothing easy, and we're going to hit your young guy. Anything else, my friend? I like that prediction. I want it to be true.
That's all, man. I just think we just need to get a lot of pressure on Klubnik, man. He'll probably hand one of the defensive linemen a touchdown.
Man, he's good for a couple of weeks, and I need Notre Dame to maintain that pace. Hey, enjoy the games, man. You got the good thing about this is our game will be done, and then we could all watch Alabama and LSU without it overlapping with our game. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow night.
Yeah, man. I hope Alabama crush LSU.
Me too. Me too. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm all roll tide on this one, on that swamp thing, so I need it to happen.
All right, John, man.
Have a good one, man. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the game. Give me a call after, all right?
All right.
Take care. Man, I love that dude. He's like my best friend. He just calls me all the time. Every day he just called, John, let me tell you what's going to happen all the time. I love that guy. That dude is loyal. Jaded Clay, John's 2024 Halloween costume, the ghost of playoff hopes. Here's the thing, though. They better not be no ghosts. They better be real playoff hopes when you get into that 12-teamer. What are we talking about here? You're getting into a 12-teamer. Notre Dame at 10-2. Notre Dame at 10-2. Shouldn't 10-2 get Notre Dame in that 12-team field every year? Think about it, man. It just blows my mind how much things are going to open up. We're at 10-2, and I feel the momentum dying, and the volume on all these shows isn't what they were because we're on the backside of the season, and we're not playing for the playoff. So the numbers are already starting to drift off. That crescendo is over. I'm feeling all that. Imagine if it was next year where you could go 10-2 and still convince yourself you have a chance for the playoff and a championship. It changes everything. Some people are going to argue, all right, but if you're 10-2, the odds are you're not. If you're Notre Dame at 10-2, you're probably not going to win the playoff, even if you get in it, if you lost 2 and whatever. Yeah, I'd rather give it a shot. You got to be in it to win it. John, are you still chirping at LSU fans on Twitter? I'll be honest. That has died down because I'm so preoccupied trolling Michigan now. I don't have time for LSU. All my trolling has been Michigan stuff for the last couple weeks. So I don't have any time for the LSU right now. If they lose to Alabama, I'll get back in it. But that's kind of how I'm seeing it. 859-260-949. Next one's up. 859, you're on the line. What's going on?
Hi, John. Sorry about before. Misconnection on my phone.
Oh, that's okay.
I think ND fans are.
Go ahead.
I think ND fans. Let's put it this way: when do we ever not get an A+ effort from somebody?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay,
it's a good point.
All those turnovers. I've seen most of all Clemson's games. They have Florida State beat within in regulation. The guy was a walk-on kicker that was working in the financial district. He missed a 33-yard winner. They win it in regulation. If you look at recruiting in the last 10 years, guarantee you who's got more talent. Yeah, okay, they've got a few injuries, but for ND to people not be worried about this or poo-poo this game, you're nuts. Now I hope to God I'm wrong, but to take this game, and this is going to be a club fight, I think, because I'm still not sold on our offense, because I agree with you. I think they're going to stack the box, and they're going to force us to pass. And can we do it?
Yeah. It's my position is I'm counting that they're not going to lay down and they're going to rise up and playing for pride. And I'm not expecting a lay down. I want us to overcome them doing that. Like, go ahead and rise up, but we're still better than you. We're going to out-physical you at your place. We're going to push you around at your place. We're going to make the early game-changing plays, take your crowd out of it. Like, I need Notre Dame to be that team that grabs that momentum tomorrow in Death Valley. Otherwise, those fans are going to get in it and get excited, and then you're in a dogfight at the end against a 4-loss team, and nobody wants to deal with that. I know I don't.
No, but about physically, but in big games, sometimes our physicality does not show up. If you look over the years.
Yep. What about, do you believe in the momentum Notre Dame has right now, though? Haven't lost since the first weekend of October. The defense is playing great. You're getting special teams plays, and the offense is doing enough. Like, do you feel like the team's in a little bit of a rhythm right now? The offense isn't perfect, but overall, the team's in a little bit of a vibe right now that I like. Do you feel that?
That I agree with you. Here's the key. I think if we can jump up early, I think we can put them away. However, God forbid let's say we fall down 7-0 or 10-0. Then I think we're in a dogfight and we're going to have to pull it out like we did against Duke.
Oh man, it would be super disappointing.
Because it's still Notre Dame. People get fired up to beat Notre Dame. I love when people say we're not relevant.
Yeah.
Which pisses me off. Really, we're not. Our lowest games are on an ABC network, for God's sakes. Come on. We're not, like, nobody's laying down. Sweet, he's got him backed against the wall saying, oh, we suck with this. I tell people right now, I'd sign on the dotted line. Give me Clemson's program for the last 10 years versus what we've had. And people are stupid. Oh, see, he can't coach. He can't recruit. Oh, really? Look at his one-loss record over the last 10 years with 2 titles.
I believe it's been 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 wins every year, going back to like 11, I think. It's been 10 or more wins every year with 2 titles in there and a bunch of playoff appearances. Nobody could doubt that. And like, obviously, dude, they've won a lot of titles. Like, I would take it too. I would take their last 10 years over us winning nothing too. Why wouldn't I? But I want it to be at Notre Dame, not there.
Well, here's my theory what'll happen. They'll get so ticked off at Clemson, Saban's going to step down within a year or 2. Then he's going to go back to his alma mater, which leads me, you're going to push back on this one on me. I know. And I'm struggling with this one because I'd like to blow up the stadium, and I'll let you go. I'm going to, because it's all about not making the playoffs. And we've had conversations how much I dislike Kelly. But I have to root for him tomorrow because my Saban hate goes all the way back to Michigan State. And I don't want him sneaking in the playoffs. And damn well, if they win that, Georgia might not bury him like they would, and Georgia's going to get in with a 1 loss. I don't want Georgia and Alabama both getting in. So I need Kelly to get rid of Saban. Yeah. And that's like rooting for Satan versus Satan too.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Satan, Father Satan. It's
Kelly.
Father Satan and Son Satan. And it's just the Satan family. Yeah, I don't have the same Alabama thing you do, and it's more personal against Kelly for me. So I want to see Alabama take him down.
Well, you didn't really trust for your dad. You don't go back into the '90s when Saban blew us off the field several times when he was at Michigan State.
Yeah.
So mine runs deep with him.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
going to
just
be
hope.
interesting. But dude, don't you agree? There is no Notre Dame fan around that is going to feel any sort of warm, good feelings about this year if you don't win this game. You absolutely have to go 10-2. That's the bottom line of what this fan base is going to accept as progress or a good year heading in the right direction or any of that. You got to have this one. Absolutely. You just do.
If we want to get to the ultimate promised land, I agree. But we're not moving on. I don't know what it'll be an interesting offseason because is he going to go against his loyalties? Because let's face it, you're going to lose Gaduli. So which I think would be a big hit because then you're going to go, are any of these quarterbacks he's recruiting, are they going to then bail?
So you think he's going to take an OC job somewhere? I've seen his name out. Is that where you're thinking will happen?
Yes, and which will lead into a head coaching job. I've seen Iowa.
Interesting. Yeah, I've seen that out as well. That would be really, really interesting. And then the other thing is, Freeman was talking this week about Mickens, and he's got DC written all over him and all that. And I love what he's doing with his unit. You better keep the guy in the house. Like, I love what Al has going on now, but especially if everybody knows that's the next big DC guy, you better keep that dude around. And the recruiting and the development is pretty good. You need to keep him around, man.
Or administration, up some more money. Hey, maybe we can give you a slash title, but let's bump your salary. Because it's well known that pro assistant coaches do not make more than college if the school's willing to pay. So, hey, administration, let's have a little meeting. We need to bump these salaries to keep these guys, especially the guys you just said. And if I hear that come out, we won't bump their salaries, I'll lose it. But you know the fraction that doesn't care about football. Oh, we can't pay that. We can't pay that.
Yeah. It's I don't know all the dynamics on that and all those numbers anymore. I don't know if Freeman's able to get a little bit more flexibility. They had the issue last year. And so I don't know, man. We're just going to have to see. Have you made up your mind on Parker, or are you open to seeing how we end with the offense the rest of the year and then see where we're at? Or are you done with him? You need him demoted or go another direction?
No, you gotta give somebody more than 1 year. So let's see how this year ends out and go from there. 2 bad years, then you got to really start looking. I mean, you want to try to keep continuity a little bit, and let's face it. And you were worried about this, you thought it'd be the other way around. If we had an offense that was 20% better, at worst we're sitting with one. We might be undefeated.
Yes,
but probably at worst 1 loss.
Correct.
I don't think with this schedule we were going undefeated. We were getting a loss somewhere, but would it have been Louisville? I don't know. It might have been this game. Remember, I told you when we talked in the offseason, I thought this was the game we might trip up on. I didn't think Louisville was going to be that good. I didn't know. They came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I thought we'd get Ohio State at home. But I thought this was the one. Now, I didn't expect them to have 4 losses, but they have enough talent. And hey, let's face it, you're due. When you got that much talent, you can play an A+ game, and they're due. And they might pull it out for us. That's usually what we get, unfortunately.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, I'm on alert for it. I just feel like Notre Dame's going to find a way to kind of grind this one out. And they just have all the momentum, and they're playing good defense, and their offense is struggling. If ever there were a moment to go to Death Valley and maybe feel pretty decent about it, this has got to be it, or I don't know what it would be. That's where I'm at. It's not going to be easy that it's going to be a rollover easy game. I'm just saying, if ever there were a time to roll into Death Valley and feel good about it, it's probably now, the way your defense is playing and the struggles they got. I don't know.
I would agree with you. Or you're going to have one long day if you're starting that early.
Yeah.
With your buddy.
Well, we're gonna do the kegs and eggs, and we're gonna do the breakfast beer. Yeah, we're gonna start early. Who needs game day when you got us? And we'll just we'll lead into the game.
I don't support ESPN at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
Good.
But that's the other nightmare. And they come back on. I think it's 2 years, because that's going to be a done deal, and he'll have it all fixed by then. My other guy I can't stand to put us in the downward spiral. My favorite Satan 3, Mr. Urban Meyer. How can you have any ethics and hire that man for what he stands for?
Well, I don't know. And I don't know. 260, you're coming up next. I don't know what's going to happen there. Now I'm hearing maybe the Urban stuff has cooled a little bit yesterday. I'm hearing some other names that are a little further down the list.
Oh, really? I thought they were finalizing the $100 million deal.
I don't
really.
know. I don't know. Late last night, I saw some tweets being like, everybody's got their eyes on this big name, but I'm hearing some other guys pop up, which tells me they're not going to get him. It's going to be really interesting to see, especially given the dynamics in Michigan with football right now. There's a lot of moving parts in Ann Arbor and East Lansing.
Oh, well, thanks for taking my call, John. Go Irish. And please, let's have a stress-free day tomorrow. I don't need it.
I know.
I'd like to enjoy that stadium that needs to be blown up. Nobody be hurt. Just blown up and get rid of the two coaches.
I just, yeah, man. That's the thing. When Notre Dame has a game in the middle of the day like that, if they lose, it ruins the whole rest of the weekend of football. It ruins all your viewing. I
got one question for you, and I'll let you go.
Yeah.
If Notre Dame loses, do you watch other college football?
It's very, very hard. Usually not. Like, it depends on what is going on. Usually not. It just makes me more mad, and then it ruins the weekend. I usually can't do it.
TVs go off, music goes on.
Yeah, just
don't care about sports.
Right,
sports are done.
Yep, get away from it. Go to another place in your brain. I get it, brother. I get it. Hey, man, enjoy the game. Let's see what we could do.
Have a good day, John. Take care.
See ya, buddy. Oh, man, that guy's energy is great. Dude, I don't know where Jack Barnes came from. I don't recognize that screen name, but he's been ripping Notre Dame today left and right. I honestly don't know that screen name. I don't recognize it. So I don't know where it's coming from, but been ripping Notre Dame, man. Clemson 42, ND 38. You got to build me a bridge that tells me how and now Clemson scoring 42. That's my issue. The way Notre Dame is playing defense recently, I don't understand how Clemson's getting to 42 unless you're telling me Hartman's throwing 4 interceptions or something. They can pass, but Notre Dame has a top 5 passing defense, like a legitimate one. And there's no way you're saying they can pass. There's no way they can pass better than Ohio State can pass or whatever. I don't know how they get to 42. I don't know how they get to 42. Somebody's saying, how do we get to 38? Yeah, that's a good point too. Defense, short fields, pick 6. Yeah, I think Shipley's going to be out. It's going to be Maffa. I think Mop is going to be their dude. 260. What do you know? What's going on?
Hey, John. How are we doing this Friday morning?
I'm doing very well. I'm just not quite sure what we're going to get in Death Valley. Mostly from them, some from us. This is a weird dynamic with atypical circumstances, and I'm just not sure what we're going to get tomorrow.
Isn't that the story of this Notre Dame team, or essentially almost like a Marcus Freeman coach Notre Dame team? You know what I mean? It's just always this ups and downs, and you don't really know. You expect certain things, but then at the same time, it's just kind of a grab bag of who knows.
Yeah, but I do feel now. Wait, though, before we do that, I feel pretty damn confident Notre Dame's defense is going to have a good day tomorrow because I have no reason to believe they won't. The matchups are there for them to take advantage of, given some of Clemson's limitations and weaknesses recently. And Notre Dame's defense is flying high with confidence and are making good game-changing plays and being reliable. I feel pretty good about that aspect of this tomorrow, and I'll be bitterly disappointed if Notre Dame's defense doesn't have a good showing. I expect that tomorrow.
Agreed. I expect Notre Dame's defense to be doing an excellent job and continue what they've done.
I don't know about that offense, though, buddy. I don't know about our offense.
Right,
it makes me a little nervous. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to get.
Exactly. And once you lose your number one receiving target for the year on an offense that struggles to consistently, move the ball through the air because there's a lack of wide receiver talent, in a game like this, you're going to need that. And so I don't know. when it comes to what are we going to get from Notre Dame. But I'll put it this way: Notre Dame has the better team. They're better on all aspects and all units than Clemson. They have the better offense, they have the better defense, and they have the better special teams. So you would think that should be a win. The issue, though, is in games like this, when Notre Dame does have the better team, is will Notre Dame actually beat themselves? That's my last question in my super chat. That's my question going into a game like this. Because with Notre Dame on the road this year, they have a high propensity of, committing penalties. Say 10 plus, 85 yards in a game like this. I'm anticipating it's going to be a field, it's going to be possession, possession type of game. So if you're giving Clemson 85 yards plus because of stupid penalties and lack of discipline where we can't even line up on sides, that's a problem. That's going to be an issue. So I don't know. We'll see. I expect Freeman to have this team ready tomorrow. I don't expect to see like a BK no-show. I think those days are done under Freeman.
Yeah.
But having said that, will Notre Dame beat themselves? I do not. I don't know. That's the question of this game.
Yeah. And again, I keep coming back to this. It seems like a game where Hartman needs to do a little more. You're down Evans. That hurts. They have a good defense. You're going to have to make plays. Nothing is going to be given to you on offense easily tomorrow. And I just need, it might be a Sammy game. You might have to throw the ball around, man. You might have to whip that ball around and make some of these plays, throw these guys open. And then I would hope over time, the running game could get going, estimate could get going, that kind of thing. You could kind of wear them down at their place. I'd love to see that. It's just, I don't know what I'm going to get out of this offense. The Notre Dame offensive line plays way worse on the road than they have at home this year. That's a part in my mind. So I don't know what I'm going to get. And I don't want to put all the burden on the defense to win this game.
Yes. Yeah. But I mean, unfortunately, it's kind of looking like that. I mean, and I also don't expect or anticipate Clemson to Clemson themselves like they've been doing this entire year. The other caveat that sticks out to me is this game is at home for Clemson. They have lost 4 games this year, but only one was at home to a Florida State team that's the last caller just stated. Clemson should have won that game. I watched that entire game. That Clemson, this is like, a chip shot field goal, 20 seconds left. And they pretty much dominated Florida State.
Man, it's just a
game.
weird.
I'm not saying Florida State is the number 4 team.
Yeah. But man, they are so weird. Even when you look at Duke, 28-7 loss, we all made fun of and trolled them for. They dominated in almost every game category other than points and then turning it over on like the 1-yard line. And then they gave up one huge run to Riley Leonard, and that was the game. But they dominated like the meat and potatoes part of the game. They dominated, but then in the most important parts, pay it off, they didn't. And I just don't know where that makes the reality fall, because all of their losses are kind of that DNA. Can I rely on that again tomorrow? We can't be the ones where they figure it all out. No. No.
Like having been a Notre Dame fan my entire life, the one thing that I've realized is that you can never count on teams' tendencies. You know what I mean? Like you can't just count on the other team to be the other team. They always rise above it because they're playing Notre Dame. This is their Super Bowl. This is their season. This is the ability to change the narrative, etc. And you got a coach like Dabo Swinney, who I completely disagree with that he's a bad coach or not that great of a coach. The guy has won in the playoff area twice.
Yeah.
And beat some great teams. Dude, the problem that he's having right now is
his win record is unbelievable. Yeah. It's like, if you go back the years, it's like 15 wins, 14 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins, 13 wins. Like 10 is the absolute bottom for like the last 10 years. He's done a great job. It's just, there's things I think he needs to adapt a little bit to get more modern while holding true to his roots. There's little things he could adapt, I think, that would get him in a better place.
I agree. He needs to learn how to use the transfer portal, that sort of thing. But the also thing that's hurting him, he doesn't have a Trevor Lawrence or Deshaun Watson. That's
a big
superstar
deal.
Quarterback.
It's a big deal, isn't it?
That's a huge deal.
Yep.
Yes. You and I have spoken, ad nauseum about the quarterback and what it does for a team, especially at that caliber. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the game changer. That is the impact player, what have you. So, I don't know, man. I expect it to be a dogfight. I don't expect it to be any type of 42-38 type of game. I see this as a game as the first team to 20 wins. That's kind of my thought process when I look at this, is I expect 3 and outs. I expect a lot of punting. It's going to be field position. It's going to be one of those type of games where you can't kill yourself. You can't commit 2 turnovers like you did against Pitt last week.
Yeah.
Expect to
or have
do the same thing.
And you can't have that start you had against Louisville at their place either. Same thing, man. You got to get off to a good start here. Listen, their fans, they're going to be begging for a reason to get engaged and get loud, and they're going to want Clemson to give them that. If Notre Dame can find a way to get up early, even if it's like 10 points or something in the first quarter or whatever, it changes things because they're all thinking, here we go. The whole here we go again thing starts brewing, and then you could crank up the pressure, and then Klubnik feels like he has to do too much. That's Notre Dame's path tomorrow, I think. So can you get off to a good start and get ahead a little bit and then make that kid start pressing? That plays right into Notre Dame. You gotta make that happen.
I agree. I agree with completely.
Oh man,
completely
I don't,
with
dude. Nobody. Do you agree with me? Nobody in this fan base is going to think 9-3 is a good year or a big jump forward or whatever. It can't be, man. You got to have this game and end 10-2 for this to feel like it's all going in the right direction at the pace any of us are willing to accept. Am I wrong in that?
And I'd like to put it this way: if Notre Dame loses this game or any of the remaining games, goes 9-3, it's going to be a disappointment. And now, as we talked in the offseason, I've asked you multiple times, Notre Dame goes 9-3, how hot does Freeman season get? You start questioning a little bit. I mean, now it makes the third year of Marcus Freeman's tenure one where they have to win 10 games. But I mean, there isn't going to be any sort of argument where, but this happened and that happened. If only no.
But wait. You're not telling me you think there should be real heat on Marcus Freeman if he goes 9-3. I don't see that. I'm talking about what the fans are willing to accept. But like real heat, no way. Like I would be miserable at 9-3, but like administrative heat, absolutely not. They would look at 9-3 with decent recruiting as going in the right direction. I just mean for us fans, you did not bring Sam Hartman in here to win one more game than you won with the guy from the Wizard of Oz last year. Like, I didn't do that. I'm not here for that, dude. That's not good enough progress. Right. And then you're also 1-2 against the Big Three again, both years in a row. And that's not showing progress.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. Real heat, no. I can't foresee that. Fan heat, absolutely. I will be one of those fans. I'll be honest with you, where their third year would become so critical at that point. Now, I just can't foresee that though. Him like going 9-3, but I don't know. It's just so unpredictable with his teams right now, and with an inexperienced head coach.
Yeah, and the other thing, man, is this is why both the games we lost hurt so much. Because you're 6 inches and maybe a couple decisions away from pulling off the best win in like 30 years if you beat Ohio State and all that would have came with that. So that is a killer. The Louisville one you couldn't have, man. That's the issue. Like, there's nowhere in this schedule to be able to account for a loss that couldn't even be conceived. And Louisville's the one it couldn't be. You had one of those games, one of those moments. You were worn out and down. They were riding a hot. And football got you and you weren't ready for the moment. That's the one that kills you, dude, because you have no leeway. You have no leeway for one of those losses that isn't against one of those top level teams. That was a killer. You were done with the playoff the first weekend in October. It's sad. It's just sad.
It's so true. It's so true. That loss against Louisville just, unfortunately, puts you in this position, as you just stated. I mean, man, do I wish Brown comes down with that ball against Ohio State, man, because again, this conversation is different.
And then wait, let's play this out. Yeah, exactly. The next thing I was going to say is, If he comes down with that, or we do any of the 20 things different or have the right amount of guy, whatever, let's say it ended different. I genuinely think our guys would have found a different gear at Louisville that they weren't able to dig in the bag and pull out because of the emotional toll all of that took on them. That's the other part. If you win the Ohio State game, I'm not acting like I would have got the same Louisville performance. If you had won that game, everything's different. Your mind frame's different. Your momentum's different. What's on the line is different. You would enter that game in a different place. And so that's the other part of it is I'm not sure you would have got that Louisville performance if you had beaten Ohio State too, because everything would have been different. Everything would have been different.
Yep. Agreed.
So I don't know.
And like the conversation you and I are having right now, it's a different tenure, it's a different tone, it's a different mindset.
Yeah.
But but I go back, just going to kind of wrap up the call because I know I got to get back to work because emails are starting to pile up. Yay, corporate world, am I right? But in seriousness, like when I look at this game, man, it's just one of those games where if Notre Dame does not beat themselves, if they just do not commit penalties, if they just do not turn the ball over, okay,
should win the game.
They're going to win this game.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
That's how I see it too, man. That's how I see it too, but only if Notre Dame does what they need to do and play a normal, solid, good football game. That's where I'm at too, man.
Exactly. And so, John, love your Patreon channel. Oh, by the way, that's proud supporter. That's right. Always Irish. You know what I mean, man. Hey, always love chatting with you. God bless you, man. And go Irish. Beat Clemson.
Hey, thank you very much. Enjoy the ball game and have a good weekend, my friend. Thanks for all the support. It really means a lot to me. Tony says, I can't shake the feeling that we make Clemson look like a top 10 team tomorrow. I've seen this movie before. I can't see that. And the main reason is I just think Notre Dame's defense isn't going to allow that. And I don't think Klubnik and the cast around him are at a level that is going to allow that. Like, does that make sense? I don't see that. I just don't. And I'd be so disappointed the way Notre Dame's defense has played, particularly through USC and then the last game. They're playing with so much confidence and they're flying high right now. I would just be shocked if I don't see that tomorrow. I think those guys are going to have like a calm confidence about them and get after it. We made Louisville look like top 10. Yeah, I know, but Louisville had a lot going for them that Clemson doesn't. Like, are we going to act like there's not a difference between you're undefeated and you have a night home game against a hated team and you're thinking of championship dreams and what that's like compared to you have 4 losses when everybody thought you were going to be a playoff team and what do you have left? I just don't know what we're going to get, but there's no damn way, man. I think Notre Dame's defense is way too good on their own. I don't trust Notre Dame's offense. I agree with you. I do not trust Notre Dame's offense. I don't think this defense is going to allow Cade Klubnik, who's been a freaking Ed case all year, do it. I can't believe that. I just can't believe that. So I think if this game is close, it has more to do with Notre Dame's offense being shitty and messing around and you're going 3 and out and there's short fields or you have a dumb turnover or you're going to do this whole, I could already see it already. Go figure. Look at this. No way. The same guy that told me Pitt was going to blow out Notre Dame is back. I actually ran a short on it. He literally said, oh, John, Pitt's going to smoke Notre Dame. It's going to be bad and whatever. Now look at him. He's back with another one. Notre Dame. He's looking at his globe, his whatever that is, his Swami ball. I don't know what you call it. Anybody who knows football knows Clemson wins this game. All right. Come on, man. Come on, man. No way. No way. You were the one telling me they're going to blow them out. Adam says the offense is shitty, John. It's not great. It's not great. Adam was texting me late last night. We're sick. We're sick in the mind. He's just texted me last night. John, I am thinking about Notre Dame's offense and I need this and I need that. And why can't we have and we can't have John, I'm confused by Jom. That can't be the name, right? Am I being rude, or is Jom the name, or is your name John, but you misspelled and put an M at the end and never undid it? I've never seen anybody with the name Jom before. And I'm not trying to be rude if that's really your name or something. I've just never heard that before. Never heard it. But that guy was saying, oh, yeah, they're going to blow, Pitt's going to blow Notre Dame out. Not ultimate, not so fast, my friend. Ultimate. Oh, I had a couple other chats that I wanted to get to here. I really would like to know the answer to this question. Really good one by Pat. Who do you think is going to replace that production the most? Like, I'm not even sure it's necessarily another tight end. That's where my mind's going. Like, is Eli Raridon ready to do this? And then you have anything you want to do with multiple tight ends, you have Stays and Raridon. Like, is that where we're going? Or is this an opportunity to have more sets where you don't have as many tight ends out there and it frees up another back to be involved in the short passing game, or a dual back look with some confusion? Or do you want and feel like you want Faison out though? Like, or are you going to do that? Like, I would like to know who you think is going to be that person. Man, because it's just interesting how this ended up being like Mayer again. Third down, you're not going to wide receiver, you're going to the tight end. I'm not against that. It's just kind of 5, 6, 7. You dropped off. Call back if you want. I'll pop you up. I just saw you drop off. John, you added Andrew. Good to see you. Thank you very much for subscribing to the Patreon, Andrew. It means a lot. Thanks for being there. You had an interesting Patreon with Goolsby on NBC's production. ND isn't even second fiddle. They're third fiddle. NBC puts all their production into Sunday Night Football. ND's an afterthought. Really good point on that one. I was focusing on like the college. Really, really good point, though. It's become blatantly, patently obvious to me Notre Dame's not a priority like they used to be. The production's not the same. The value's not the same. The personalities they give you aren't the same. The production value, even just the camera work seems shoddy to me sometimes. Like the most basic thing. Whatever. 5, 6, 7. Welcome to the program. Good morning. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, John? Domer guy here. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Domer guy? I am I'm a little on edge about this one. I have some Notre Dame confidence. I feel great about where our defense is at. I am just not sure what I'm going to get out of this Clemson team in their circumstances. And I'm just wound a little tight about it, man.
A couple minutes ago, we were talking in the chat and you were reading them, and you said you'd be shocked. How can you be shocked being a Notre Dame fan if Clemson were to win this game?
That's not the part I would be shocked about. The score that was put in there would shock me. I would not be shocked if Clemson won. It was the one that said like 40, 42 or 48 to 20 or something like that. I would be surprised by that score because I don't know how Clemson scores in the 40s against this Notre Dame team. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Clemson won. They have the talent to beat Notre Dame at home for sure. But I don't see them getting into the 40s against our defense. It's got to be
okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what you were talking about. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Notre Dame hasn't given up 40 points. Notre Dame hasn't given up 40 points all year to anybody, so I don't think Clemson's going to put 40 on the board.
Yeah, I want to be clear. Like, Notre Dame could certainly lose this game. I was reacting to that specific score prediction. I don't see how they get in the 40s unless we have three like pickoffs and then they get a short field. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Our defense isn't letting them score 40. No way.
I wouldn't think so. I don't think anybody scores 4. I don't think their defense is going to let us get in the 40s. I think this is going to be a 21-24, 21-17 type game.
Oh, man.
One way or the other. Whoever wins. That's
Dude,
what I think the scoreboard is going to look like.
That's way too close for me. I can't. That's way too close, man. That's stroke territory again.
John, do you know how similar these two teams are, though? They really are. So if you think about this, okay?
Yeah.
They both have both these teams have good backs, good running games, okay? I know our offensive line is probably a bit better than Clemson's. They've been struggling a little bit. But both teams have good running backs. Both teams' wide receivers really don't have any speed on the perimeter. We can't take tops off defenses. Both defenses are the strength of the team, probably. Right?
Yep.
We both have good tight end play.
Yep.
So Clemson might have 4 losses, but it's kind of like the script is flipped from last year. How Clemson was coming in as a hot team, and we were coming in with 3 losses, banged up. I think the script is flipped.
Yeah, it is, and that's the other factor, man. Even if they weren't having like a down year, Dabo would be hell-bent on revenge anyways. He's the type of guy that took that personally, what happened in Notre Dame last year. Even if they weren't struggling, he was going to have an extra axe to grind here. But you're right, though. The strength of both these teams is defense, and I just feel like, dude, both defenses are pretty good. I would like to think I like Sam Hartman's chances of navigating that over Cade Klubnik with no experience and a bad offensive line. Like, if Notre Dame can't have that advantage, what are we doing?
Is Sam Hartman really the problem, though?
Is he? And I'm saying I feel better about him than I do Klubnik. Like, he should be able to.
It's not. Sam Hartman's not the problem, though. So I think you bringing up Sam Hartman over Klubnik is not relevant, because I don't think it's the wide receivers that is holding Sam Hartman back. And if it's not, I have no idea why. Then. Yeah.
No. Man,
so,
I could see this going a lot of different ways tomorrow. And in my mind, I just need Notre Dame to play suffocating defense and then do enough on offense to create a little margin and then pin your ears back. That's what I want the roadmap to be, man. I just don't know if we're going to get it.
So you think Notre Dame has the better offense? You think that's
Yes, I do. And I'm not saying it's good.
I'm
not saying it's good. I'm not saying I approve of it. I'm not saying it's doing a great job, but I'm saying yes to your specific question. That's not a ringing endorsement. It's not a ringing endorsement, but it's a yes to your question.
Brother, I 100% agree. I know exactly what you're saying. I think we're a smudge better on offense. And I think that's what's going to get us over the top. But I would not be surprised at all if Clemson comes out and wins that game tomorrow, because this is what Notre Dame does. We drop this game tomorrow. This is what Notre Dame does. I think we're going to win, but if we lose, that's what we do.
Man, it would be really a rough way to end the year, man. It would be a rough way to end the year. At least now you're building this winning streak since Louisville and all that. You have the New Year's Six at least in your mind and all that. This would be a really bad look. Notre Dame cannot lose this game. And it isn't just because they're 4-4. You had to win this game no matter what the records were. And the fact that they're 4-4 probably puts more pressure on Notre Dame to win it. But you got to get this one, man. You can't drop this one. It's going to taint all of the discussions how this year feels and looks. It ain't good enough. You got to win it.
All right, John. Is it a successful season? We win this game tomorrow. We win out the regular season. We get to a New Year's Six bowl game. We lose the New Year's Six bowl game. Is it a successful season or not?
If it is, you could. Are you allowed to say it is, but in a little like a little bit, like a little bit?
I want to know how you truly feel.
Like I would say, in certain aspects, I'm going to say yes, but overall, no, because you didn't reach your overall goals. But there's some smaller in season goals you did accomplish. Reestablishing dominance over USC, number one. Kicking Clemson down further as you blow by them as a program 2 years in a row. I would love both of those.
We gotta. For me. We gotta finish the season 3-0. We gotta win a New Year's Six bowl game.
Oh, I love that.
It's been too long.
Yeah, I love that.
It's been too long.
You know what? In a year where you're frustrated, you're not going to the playoff, the next best thing you could do is knock this New Year's Six thing off. Kill that meme, kill that internet thing, kill all those tweets. If you could not make the playoff, the next best thing would be go 10-2, win one of those games. That would be good for momentum. Kill that narrative, and then we look into the new playoff. I would love that.
That's the only thing that can salvage the season, because we've won a Gator Bowl, we've won a Camping World Bowl. You know, we've been there, we've done that. We need to knock the New Year's Six Bowl. You know, you need to crawl before you need to crawl before you can walk.
Let me ask you this:
is what we need to do.
Does Sam Hartman play in a New Year's Six, or does he sit out, or is he not even at that level? He's got to play. I don't know, but that's the next thing people are going to ask.
Man, you know, I've thought it. That's a great question, and I've thought about that. I'm 50-50 on that, because I think one of the main reasons he came to Notre Dame was to improve his draft stock. And I think playing in a New Year's Six bowl game, he played in the bowl game last year, and he was thinking about going into the draft, didn't he?
Yeah.
With Wake Forest.
Yep.
I wonder if he knew all along that he already had his mind up what he was going to do with his future. I don't know. But that's a good question. Right now, I would say no, he won't play. But I would be okay with that. I would be okay with seeing Minchie or Steve playing that game.
Yeah, that would
it'd be Steve.
It'd be really interesting. The ultimate would be if Hartman sits out to do that, and then you could get a win with one of those younger guys. That's the ultimate, because then you're looking into the future. It's not just all over. That would be a good sign for what's coming too. So I don't know. We'll get there when we get there, but I just don't know what the angle is going to be on that one. So we'll see, man. But I have anxiety. I don't expect this to be easy tomorrow. I just think if Notre Dame plays a solid football game, they should win. That's what I'm going to say. If we play a solid game that I know we could play, it should be enough to beat this team. If we mess around at all, it's going to be a frustrating afternoon.
It's going to be a dogfight either way. Whether we mess around or not, I think it's going to be a dogfight. You're not just going to walk into Death Valley and get an easy win. And if we do, that's what I want to see, baby. I got one last question for you. Okay. What are the odds of Stuckey, Dealin, Gino, and Golden being gone after the season?
I mean, I would like to
all of them.
I would like to think you're not going to lose all of them. Are you even likely to lose one of them? I was thinking maybe you would lose one of them, but I guess then we're getting into this whole other thing where I'm going to get mad about this, man, where it's like, everybody, isn't that awesome that you want to be Notre Dame where everybody wants your assistants and it shows that you have a good pro and everybody wants them. It isn't good when everybody takes them before you win anything, though. How many times do I got to explain that?
John, we wasted the talent again, because we didn't put 11 men on the field, or we didn't catch an interception thrown to us, or we couldn't play up to the level of Louisville.
This is one of my biggest complaints is I always hear about what a compliment it is. And now as a fan, I should be happy that everybody else wants to steal our good assistants. And my argument is, how about if we win something that matters before somebody takes all of our guys? What fulfillment do I get out of us winning nothing and then our best assistants going somewhere else? What do I get out of that? Win something
Nothing.
with
Maybe
your guys.
Maybe
Win
an
it.
opportunity to win a New Year's Six bowl game, maybe.
Win something that matters. Then I'm a lot more open to you losing your great staff. If they were that great, why don't you ever win anything that matters?
I'm going to say a name, and I want you to say stay or leaves real fast. Golden, stays or leaves.
Do I think it or do I want it?
Do you think it?
I think he stays one more year and then does something else. I do. I think he stays one more
I
year.
think Golden. I think.
And then
Okay.
Mickens.
I think Golden goes after the year. I think he goes to the NFL. I think he gets a DC job in the NFL.
And if he
personally.
does,
I could be wrong.
I'm kind of okay with that because then you slide Mickens over and then you have that, and I'm comfortable with that. Like if that's how that had to go, and you could keep Mickens around as Freeman's road dog and all the vibes they got, I'm okay with that. But I think maybe he'll stay one more year and then do something else. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
Okay, Gino, stay or leave.
If he gets an OC offer, I think, how does he not take an OC offer over a QB coach offer? That's
Or do
my
you think
question.
he will?
I don't know who's going to offer him. How do I know? I don't know how many people are calling interested in him.
So do you think he'll be there next year, or do you think he leaves?
I think he stays. I think he stays. I think he wants to see how this goes, and I don't know. Yeah, and Pat's asking, how has he earned an OC offer? Like, what has he done to earn an OC offer? I don't know the answer to that.
I personally think he stays. I just heard his name being said with the Iowa thing.
Yeah,
I
saw that too. I saw that too. But I don't know. And,
I think Gino stays though.
Yeah, and then I mean Stuckey, I don't know who's looking at Notre Dame's wide receiver.
I think Stuckey's kind of regressed as a coach this year. On-field coaching, not recruiting.
Go, who's looking at that on-field product and going, you know what, I need that for sure. Like that's kind of a rough.
I think
look.
Stuckey stays. We're in agreement on that. It sounds like. And then Dillon, I think Dillon's gone. I think Dillon and Golden are both gone.
Man, that Dillon thing, I like what they got going in running back, and I like what's coming on in behind these guys with Aeneas and them guys. I like it. So I don't know, but again, my biggest frustration is hearing the high and mighty Notre Dame media beat guys go, everybody quit complaining. It's a compliment that everybody wants your best coaches. Only if you win shit when you have them. It does me no good at all to not have the team accomplish anything and then have our best assistants from there be poached. That does not make me feel good at all because you won nothing with your good coaches. Nothing. Zero.
And not only that, how about if you do win something with them, coaches want to stay there? Like how long did Clemson have Parker and in their DC stay? They had like a decade with those guys or something like that.
Yeah, it's just.
I think that's mind blowing too. Like these coaches never want to stick around South Bend. They're always it's more like a stepping stone job these days.
Well, all I'm saying is it's the same thing I say when Notre Dame fans wanted to brag about how many guys we're putting in the league. Oh, look at how many guys we're putting in the league. And then I'd go, what did you win when you were here? I don't care. Sorry. Like, I need you to win stuff here, and then I'll be proud of all that stuff. It doesn't do me any good for you to win nothing and get drafted. Wow, great. Good for you. You're rich now. Yeah, I know that's good for the program, but it's frustrating as a fan when you don't win anything and lose all your best players and coaches. Sorry that that's frustrating, but it is. Win something, then leave.
I 100% agree with you, and that again is what this season has become. It's a waste of talent that Notre Dame has pulled off yet again.
Well, it's frustrating, but I do think there are bigger picture good signs of the momentum of this overall, and it's going to be a big year next year. The schedule lightens up. You have another year of Freeman's recruiting getting in the mix. You're going to have some big roster changes. Like, that's going to be a big year next year because that schedule lightens up. and you're further down the path of your guys getting away from everything else before. Next year's going to be a big, big year for Freeman. Anything else, my friend? Great touch of base. You got me worked up. You got me worked up.
Yeah, one more question for you before I get off the phone with you. You bring it up next year. I want a yes or no question from you. Answer. Do we bring in a transfer portal quarterback? Yes or no?
Probably. I think they want to. I just do. I think they want to. I don't know whether that's right or wrong.
Do you think it's the right? Do you think it's the right thing to do?
I don't know, because you're asking me questions that I don't have all the information to answer. How do I know how they're evaluating these quarterbacks? Like, I haven't seen enough to know.
Yeah, but
bro, like, I have not seen enough to know what they're looking at to make that evaluation. How would I know? I haven't seen Minchie play enough to know whether he should have a fair shot to be starter next year or not. I have no idea.
Here's the way I look at it. Competition is good for everybody. And I don't care what you've seen out of Minchie, what you've seen out of Steve or the Carr kid coming in, if he even comes. I think you bring in a transfer quarterback because competition has never hurt anybody. Fill that room up. And that's my thought on it.
The other competing thought would be, you only bring in another transfer if he's clearly head and shoulders above what you have in the building. And if you don't have that, then why are you not just having a competition and developing what's in-house, unless you find somebody that's clearly better that's going to start? Like, I see both sides of that argument. I get what you're saying, but if you bring in another transfer, all those guys aren't going to stay. I think you're going to lose one eventually. And you need to make sure you don't lose the one you need to stick around. You're going to lose somebody somewhere.
That's a good point. I understand that. That's going to happen regardless, though. Even if you had Carr, Minchie, and Steve on the same roster, you didn't bring in a transfer portal guy, you're probably going to lose one of them in the spring. No,
I think you're going to lose a quarterback here somewhere if you bring in another one.
Period. Whether you have 4 or 3, you're going to lose a quarterback.
My kids.
So that's even more of a reason to bring in a fourth guy.
I just,
in my opinion,
this is a big decision, and they really got to know what the plan is here and have it kind of worked out. Like they really have to have a good idea of how they want this to go, and their evaluations have to be kind of on point. So I don't know, but it is a big, big decision, and some of it will depend on the names in the portal and the back channels, and who is interested in Notre Dame and the other way. And we don't know all that information. It's a big decision, though, man. They got to get it right.
Have you heard anything about the Utah kid in Notre Dame? You heard any of that?
No, I mean, I've just heard fans talk about it, but I haven't heard anything other than that, other than people interested in the idea.
Same here.
Yeah,
same here.
Interested in the idea. And then who is that good quarterback in the G5? Is it Tulane that has a good quarterback or something like that? One of those schools has a really good.
I don't know. I'd have to dig a little deeper.
I saw that yesterday, where that kid's looking to jump to the Power 5, and a bunch of people brought it up. But I don't know, man. Twitter's wild. Like, I can't rely on that all the time. So, but hey, man, really good catching up with you. I want you to enjoy the weekend, and we'll see what happens with Notre Dame.
Go Irish, brother.
Have a good one, man. Have a good one, dude.
You too, buddy.
People are saying that guy stresses them out and that he was bossy. It's just the way he is, man. He's so serious about Notre Dame. Like, he wants answers, damn it. He calls in here. He wants answers. Wait, listen. When I'm doing one of these shows and I have people saying that I'm not the intense one and the caller's the intense one, I think it's time we evaluate where we're at. Like, I think it's time we evaluate where we're at. When we're at that point where it's like, John, you're the calm one and you need that guy to calm down. We got problems. No, Pat. I do not want to oversaturate. And we're doing a game day live tomorrow with Goolsby. So we're not going to do the double, triple up thing. So in lieu of tonight, we're going to do a game day style show in the morning with Goolsby and have breakfast beers. So that's the executive decision. Man, he hooks up with Goolsby and fires me. You're the one. Hey, we're still doing the post-game show, and I know you weren't available last week on the post-game show, and I still want to do that and have you call. The Friday night shows are going to come back, but it'll be spread out in an off-season format. I know you have kids, Pat. I'm just giving you a hard time. You got stuff to do. How dare you do something for your kid's birthday instead of help me for no money, you jerk! Like, I realize how insane that sounds, Pat. I mean, I know. Pat is not the dumped girlfriend. I want him involved on the call-in post-game shows, but he has stuff going on. Quit making me feel bad. Last caller of the day. Here, this will balance out the vibes. What's going on, 385?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Hey, man, I'm just trying to figure out what the hell we're going to get tomorrow. I have no idea what to expect other than I know we're going to play good defense, but other than that, I'm not sure what we're going to get. Let's put it that way.
No, I feel you. I'm on the same page. I wasn't gonna call today. I've just been listening. I love to hear everybody. I like Domer guy. I see him on the chat sometimes and what he's got to say. But quick question, John. I've heard a lot of people have been talking about the whole Sam Hartman and the quarterback team. Me right now, I'm kind of like, let's get past Clemson. Let's finish out strong and see what happens. But it is a very good question to ask right now because I watched CJ Procise, Devin Butler, and Corey Holmes last night, and they're talking about like not going through the portal. You know what I mean?
It all depends on the evaluations. The evaluations have got to be right. And I don't know what all goes into that calculation, but whoever's in that room, Parker, right, Gaduli, Freeman, the procession year of quarterback, it needs to be handled right. They have to have a very, very clear idea of where they think these guys are at, and it needs to be accurate. It can't just be what they think. They need to be right about those evaluations. Then also see what's in the portal and who's interested and how good they are. There's a big calculation here, and we just don't have all the information to know what inputs are going into the calculation. There's a lot to figure out with this.
No, and I agree with you, and I agree with how you're saying. Like, if you do bring one in and say you lose Minchie ends up being, something, phenomenal somewhere else, we kick ourselves in the ass for that? You know what I mean? I mean, I would agree with you. If you do bring in someone in, he's got to be, like what Domer guy said, he's got to be head and shoulders above the rest, national title contention, Heisman, like no questions asked. I mean, I thought Angeli looked really good, man, last week. I get it that it's Pitt, you know what I mean? But we've all known how Pitt has played us in the years past. If you're a real Irish fan, you know that Pitt's that little pebble in your shoe.
Yeah.
It's like, man, why am I dealing with
now,
this?
Here's the question, man. Here's the question.
You.
The question that I've heard the Notre Dame insiders ask is, what is the high end with Angeli? If you think you could get baseline good play and deliver the ball on out, what is the high end of Angeli? And is the higher end of Angeli good enough to get you where you want to go? That is, I think, a part of this calculation, and I just don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
God, man, wouldn't it be nice? It'd be nice. No, let me ask you this: say the Clemson game doesn't come. Because CJ Procise and Devin and all them said something really good. They said, do you say you don't get this win on Clemson? Do you know that at that point, Sam Hartman, they're honestly, John, I love Sam Hartman. I think you made a great point. I think the advantage, as far as how Domer guy and you were saying, the defenses are almost similar. Our offense aren't too off. But I think the deciding factor is that Sam Hartman has the experience. He has big game experience, whether he's won or lost. We can both agree he's got big game experience. You know what I mean? Other than Louisville, where we all can agree that it looked like the guys were, walking in the clouds because, they didn't seem like they had the intensity. I think going into Clemson, we have the advantage with Sam Hartman having those leadership skills and being involved in big games, rather than Clemson's young quarterback. But they made a point. They said, if you lose this, do you finish the season with Angeli or a younger quarterback and see where you're going to get to try to pump up the future? Because at that point, let's be honest, John, if he loses and we have like a, heaven forbid, another Louisville type thing, like, well, does he finish strong? I would think Hartman would finish strong as a leader, but what would be your take? Well, because like I think was it Devin Butler said, man, I'd rather just take Angeli, man, and take my losses. At least like that, I know that already. He said our playoff, it's over. But at this point, I'd rather finish with that dude. At least we're building.
Yeah.
For the future.
Hey,
and
that
better.
makes sense, man. And
What I
listen,
mean?
if you could end up in a dynamic where Notre Dame's in a big, not a big, it isn't a playoff game, in a kind of major bowl game,
yeah.
And then you could have one of the younger guys play in it and do well enough to win. That is the win of wins because it's building to the future. You get to see the young guy. It wraps up this year good and gives you good vibes going into the next year. If we had to go that route, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, and these are old players talking, and so I'd like to listen, but I like to listen to all the fan base. You know what I mean? Regardless, John, like I said, the reason why I love this school, man, like why I just love the Irish, it's just that, man. You get the Someway alumni, people calling from Florida, me calling from Utah, people from California, from everywhere, and just to hear the passion of that they have for the team, So I just love it, man. I got one last question on your Patreon. Do we subscribe? Is that how we do? We subscribe. We upgrade on the membership.
Yep,
for
that's
$20 a month.
Yep, that's it. And then when you do that, then you get emails and exposure to all the content behind that. So there's like a free option to jump on board and see certain things, and then you can upgrade. The big thing we're trying to do, man, is when the offseason starts, we're getting into Notre Dame interviews. We're bringing former players on. Goolsby has those connections. I have some now. We're going to have a lot of Notre Dame people on to talk Notre Dame football. So that's coming.
John, man, that's awesome. And one more thing I was going to tell you. Hey, the next time Notre Dame plays at home, I'm going to be there. I wish you would be there, but I'm going to be there. Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, man, we got to meet up. It'd be trouble if me and you hit the town. I just got a feeling you and I would get along too well, and it might be bad for all of us. I don't know, buddy. I think you're a bad influence. I got a feeling you would push me a little bit. I think you're a bad influence, buddy.
Man, we're one and the same, man. But yeah, I'm hoping for a great game. You hear Dabo talking, and I'm glad that the Irish fans, man, they realize they're going into Death Valley, and we're going against Dabo Sweeney, and that record's it's an illusion. They're a few plays away from probably being 7-2 as well, and I think Freeman will have the guys ready. I think you made some comments as far as assistant coaches, and we say like, yeah, what we've done here. I love it when the Irish win regardless. Pine Strike Bowl. Do I want a national title? Yes, man. In my lifetime, I would love to see it. I seen the girls get one, and me and my daughter were in tears, right? Because my daughter, like I told you, my daughter went to a high school where she was a captain, an all-star, a state runner-up, a two-time region champion at 5'2", 5'0", and at patting themselves after Notre Dame. I purposely took her there. Like, that's how much I love the Irish. But I got to see the women win national title for her. We were in tears. I want to see one for us, win one. But the thing is, it's like I tell you, with the bowl thing, if I don't know where I was going with that. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But you know what, John? Let's have a good weekend, man. I think it's gonna be a great game. It's an early game, so you know what I mean. If it comes out to our favor, we can have Saturday to enjoy it. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No, that's okay, man. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for the donation. Let's get that win, baby. This is a big one. It's the last big one of the year. We got to get it. Thanks for your call, man. Have fun this weekend.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. You too, man. Thanks, John. Have a good one, buddy.
Take care, man. Dude, I love that dude. I think him and I would be real good friends. You guys are all jerks. I'm not trying to get You guys are just jerks. You all understand the dynamic here and why I have to do stuff with Goolsby and then do that. I'm not trying to kick Pat out. They have different things that they specialize in doing. And forgive Pat that he has a life and a family and kids and wants to hang out with them sometimes. Give me a break. I'm not trying to replace Pat or kick him to the curb or do any of that. Okay. I owe Pat a lot of beer money. When's the last time you guys saw me on? It would have been after one of the other games, and then it's been a couple weeks. Was it USC? It was after USC, I think. Pretty sure. The reason we could lose is poor coaching and the players make critical mistakes. That could go for any game. You're right. All right, everybody, that's going to be it. Interesting week here. Notre Dame's got to get this win. And so I'll put out the link for tomorrow. Do not waste your time on stupid game day and watch Desmond up there talking about Michigan did nothing wrong and they're all going to be saints and everything because they're perfect. Don't watch that bullshit. Tune in here and watch Notre Dame. People, get ready for your game. Thanks for the chats. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for being around. Pat, thanks for all the hard work you do behind the scenes on all this stuff. Thank everybody. Have a good weekend. Yeah, everybody misses you, Pat. Let's do our own. Hey, Pat. Let's do a show where we don't even have to do it live. Can we record something together? Let's record something together and we could put it out whenever, and then it's not determined on when you're available. Put out a Notre Dame content show. Jaded, I'm not doing that. Jaded, we ain't doing that. You're going to get me in trouble. That's what you're going to do. But Pat, that would be nice because then we could do all this and post it whenever we want. I like having Pat live too. I'm just saying for the stuff where timing's an issue or he's got a date with the wife or something on it and can't do that. It would be a way for us to record together and get it out. That's always an option, Pat. You guys have a good one. We'll see you for game day in the morning. Kegs and eggs, Goolsby and Kennedy. Let's go.